Also, not to be misunderstood, critiquing yourself is not being negative unless you do it too much and the opposite of that doesn't exist.
Everything I've said I'm gonna do, I do. And now you're along for the ride too.
Maybe some of you in this room do truly believe deep down at the depths of your soul and your existence that you're never gonna be a social person. Well, I challenge you to challenge that. Even if you believe right now, after what I've said, that that's still, like you can't change it, I challenge you. What if you could? Let me present that question to you. What if you could? I say, what if you could? What comes into your mind in regards to what you can actually do about it? And I tell people, okay, if you believe that and we want to make the change, well, what are some changes we need to make? Well, first change, well, I'm going to fly you out to Miami and you're going to start going out with me. Because everybody in Miami already knows me, right? I've been there 5 months and I go into places and I'm literally greeted by first name and all that. And people are like, well, dude, didn't you just move here? I'm like, well, yeah, but I talk to everybody. So we're also talking about social media and branding. Well, is that not branding? Everywhere I go, people know me. And it's not, again, I'm not sitting up here saying, oh, I'm so special, I'm so cool. I just socialize with people. I don't say anything special. I don't wear anything special. I just socialize. I don't care if you're the CEO or the janitor, I'm gonna talk to you and we're gonna be friends. And at the very bare minimum, this is a key for communication now. Interacting with me, oh, if you can do this, you're a stud. Interacting with me, you're gonna feel good. I'll put a smile on your face, right? You'll leave the interaction, whether it's a minute or 5 minutes, smiling more, feeling a little bit better. Because number one, you'll never hear complaining coming out of my mouth. How many of you in this room are a part of like Facebook groups with realtors? You know exactly what I'm talking about. All they do is moan and complain 24/7. Anytime I do something and post something or say something, you know, these little birds in the trees tell me, oh, that got shared in like 20, realtor groups asking if we should do this and this and that. As I do, people can't help but just gossip and drama. It's like, what is this, like a corporate 9 to 5? Right? So I got out of those groups a long time ago, right? Because just the mere notion of you looking at that and reading it and seeing it on a daily basis is contributing towards that building up in your life and it being a part of your life. Now, I don't want people to misconstrue this with, well, it's all about positivity and no negativity. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about unnecessary drama and gossip that you don't want. We get enough of that already, right? I've had clients before who just call me to complain like once a day. I'm like, oh, it's 12. Jimmy's going to call me and complain. And they call me. Well, I can't believe this market. I'm like, that's right, Jimmy. Uh-huh. But I'm taking it in stride, right? I'm kind of laughing about it. But see, that's already client injecting drama, plus the 20,000 other things you have in your day that will inject drama. Maybe somebody sideswipes you and man, you got in an accident, you got to stop, and maybe they're yelling at you. I don't know. It doesn't mean you have to yell at them, but that's already an outside force, we can say, or situation bringing negativity into your life. So why would I now, on my end, put myself in a position where I am self-imposing negativity and drama when it's not necessary? Also, not to be misunderstood, critiquing yourself is not being negative unless you do it too much and the opposite of that doesn't exist. Okay? How many of you would consider yourself a very harsh self-critic? Right? 2 hands for me, right? How about the opposite? When do you ever give yourself any credit? Good. That's fantastic. We have 1 person. Well, 2, because I do too. I do too, right? Now, since you do it, would you say doing that, and I don't know, have you always done that, by the way? Or was it something that you recently started doing?
Not recently, but I haven't always done it.
Okay. How has that affected your overall psyche and mood as a person overall?
My mother passed away 3 years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
And what she always used to say to me is, you can do anything. And I've just realised that I can.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we all can.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know when I'm happy with myself.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. So I'm bringing that up because if you look at the way our society is run too, it breeds that incorrect way of behavior, right? If any of you go on, like, let's say Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and you write anything, oh man, I'm having a bad day, or this year sucks, and you basically go into the whole woe is me thing. you'll get a ton of likes and comments and keep your head up and people will, you know? So they'll fan the flames on that activity, which by the way, all you're doing is enabling that behavior when you do that. Why? Because you did an incorrect behavior, now you got a positive response, right? So now you're patterning yourself to do that. But how about the opposite? Imagine, oh man, I got this listing, I'm the shit, right? Let's say you start, I'm not even gonna say being delusional, I'm just saying giving yourself credit for something that you did, right? What do you get? Hey bro, get off your high horse and you're getting too arrogant. You immediately start getting pulled down by people, right? And again, I'm not saying you said you were God when you just walked across the street, right? But you literally just said what you did. You literally just stated fact. I did this today, I'm proud of myself. I mean, it's gonna be like a disparity like this. The negative victim one will get 1 million shares and likes and comments, and the other one will probably get very little. So again, you look at it from a psychological standpoint, that's conditioning people. And now you perpetuate that through social media, now it's mass conditioning people. Because that's the viral stuff that people share and talk about, and it's a subject of conversation, right? So when I finally understood that, I said, man, people, they've literally been shamed when they give themselves credit, right? And I remember being a kid and they would give us the exercise in school to like hug yourself, right? So I do that now every once in a while. I'm like, man, I got to give myself a hug, because a lot of times we will fight to the death and do the craziest things to get acknowledgement from people, but you won't give yourself acknowledgement. It's a trip. It's crazy. You will, you know, people will literally lie, cheat, steal, scheme, right? Come up with these crazy things for like social media just to get people to clap for them. I'm like, dude, you don't even know that person. Yet you can't even look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I like what I see. You're like, I can't even look at myself in the mirror, you know? And I remember for a while, when I was working with some of my closer team members on like self-esteem and confidence, because I really wanted to shoot it up for them, that was a drill that I gave them. I gave them this exercise. I said, look, I want you every day in the morning and at night, we'll start with just 30 seconds. I want you to look at yourself in the mirror, eye contact, right? And don't think anything right now. Just be very present and observe some of the things that start popping up in your mind. I don't want you to fight it. I want you just to be observant. And they would write stuff down after, right? And I said, if you have to have a notebook there because so much is happening, you know, write it down. And they would come back and literally 99.9% of it was, guess what? Negative. You see, you guys are smart, you know. And I'm just like, you know, it confirmed, right? Everything I was thinking, everything I was experiencing, but I was like, dude, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So this is an intimate moment of a person with themselves in the mirror. And by the way, before I continue, a lot of them told me they couldn't even keep eye contact with themselves. That is crazy, right? But it's just negative, negative, negative. And I said, wow,